Hi, I'm Jen Hickey. I will be showing you today how to do a fairly simple zombie bite. I decided to do it on the arm right here. It's kind of a fairly commonplace you really see in a lot of zombie movies and everything just because, you're defending yourself or it's an extremity, it's out there. So what we need is I like to use Ben Nye's Scar and Nose Wax. It's really easy to mold and to use, and it's just nice. Petroleum jelly. It keeps it from being really sticky, and it's a lot easier to work with. So you just kind of take a little tool here, whatever you need. I just use the end of one of these little brushes because sometimes they have a little scoop. And just kind of get a good little chunk out of it. Okay. You don't really need a lot. I just kind of grab a little ball of it. It kind of depends on how big of a bite you want to do. Now, put it on to make it stick, I just use liquid latex. It sticks pretty well. It's not probably the best one. A lot of people would use spirit gum, but I hate spirit gum. I think it's disgusting and just everywhere and gross. So I just kind of lather on a bunch right here. So it's kind of like that. And then you kind of just take a little bit. I kind of tear it in half because we're going to use a little bit in a second. Just kind of mold it out, kind of like a little caterpillar or whatever you want to call it, and just kind of stick it on. What you want to start to do is kind of start blending in the sides like that, just so it starts blending into your skin, and always use some jelly to do it because it just makes it way smoother on the ends so it doesn't look like there's something sticking out all around it. So you kind of want to go all around it, but you don't want to flatten the top too much. You need this part sticking up. Kind of just a good little spot like that. Now the other little chunk that you want is kind of to do the other side of the bite. This will be the main portion, like probably like they bit down and drug, but you want to make kind of like a little hole. So it'll kind of look a little bit like that. So what you want to do is you want to make the teeth marks now. So what you want to do is just push in right on the side, kind of like that, and just kind of drag it down like that. Okay, so it doesn't look like much now, but that's when the color comes in. So I like to go over it with a light base, just kind of a lighter than what your normal skin color would be, just because the wax it's nude colored, but it does kind of have this pinkish hue. And I mean, for some people it might blend perfectly. Just for me, it just looks a little odd. But you don't want to get, you don't have to get too crazy with it. You just kind of have to dab, like so. Kind of dab around it. See, there's really not much of a difference. Next, next is shading. Next I like to use black and a really dark purple, just to really show depth that is in your skin. So just use kind of a black, just put a little bit on your brush, like that. And then I just go in all the little holes. Next, I like to use a dark purple. These two wheels that I love by Ben Nye is the color wheels. Perfect for zombie, any kind of wounds. Also good colors for like, fantasy type stuff. So it's just the Monster wheel and the Master Bruise wheel. They're perfect. So I always use kind of the dark purple and kind of go back into the color. Next color is red. So just kind of take your sponge, a little bit of red, and again, never wipe, always dab. So just kind of dab all around it. And this time it's good to go kind of just all around. Now I like to add greens and yellows, mostly to add more of the bruise effect. Green I always like to do next. I always do kind of a light green. This one is more for like older bruises, but this one's gonna be pretty fresh. So, and you just do the same thing. And then next, yellow. Next, to really give it some more life, is a stipple sponge. I love using the stipple sponge. It gives it a texture and it just kind of brings it out a little bit more. Yellow is a good one to do stipple sponge around. Especially like if you want to do a darker red, like this one right here. Okay, so this is kind of so far. So it's kind of wrapped around, the side. Now, the best part. 2 kinds of bloods I think are very necessary to really pull it off is fresh scab. It's kind of a darker, thicker blood. Kind of more of like this kind of jelly, it's kind of sticky and kind of a goo. And then just your Ben Nye stage blood. So just kind of take your dried blood, your fresh scab. I always just take the ends of a brush. They're great little tools. And you just kind of scoop it out a little bit. And then all the little crevices, you just kind of fill it in with that. Your hands, your fingers will be the best tools, better than any brushes, everything, because they just make it way more natural looking and it's easier to control. And you're obviously, if you're going to get bit, you're going to touch it and you're going to want to, no. So that's kind of a thing, like just kind of pretend like you're trying to stop it and you'll just kind of get it all over. So that's just with the fresh scab. And you can stop there if you want to, but who only wants to use that much blood? That's boring. So then you just take your other one. You can use a sponge, whatever else you like. I still like using the ends of the brush. And that's kind of your basic zombie bite.